History of F-35 incidents. Billions lost on the world's most advanced fighter. The F-35, one of the most advanced stealth fighters in the world, a symbol of American and Allied technological pride. With development costs exceeding $1 trillion, the F-35 was expected to redefine the future of air combat. But behind the shining reputation lies a darker truth. This fighter jet has been plagued by accidents, from fires and technical failures to catastrophic crashes. Join us as we look back at the most serious F-35 incidents over nearly a decade. 1. Eglin AFB, Florida, USA. Aircraft type F-35A. On June 23, 2014, at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, a routine training mission turned into disaster. As an F-35A prepared for takeoff, the engine's third-stage rotor suddenly broke apart. Burning fragments tore through the fuselage, and within seconds, the jet was engulfed in flames. The pilot escaped unharmed, but the fighter was almost completely destroyed, a loss of $50 million. The incident shook confidence in the F-35 program, leading to a temporary fleet-wide grounding. It was a chilling reminder that even the most advanced stealth jet in the world could be brought down by a single critical failure. 2. Location: Mountain Home AFB, Idaho, USA. Aircraft type F-35. On September 23, 2016, at Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho, what seemed like another ordinary day on the flight line quickly spiraled into crisis. An F-35A Lightning II, the pride of American stealth technology, suddenly caught fire while parked on the ground. Flames erupted from the jet, sending black smoke high above the base. Within moments, alarms blared and emergency crews raced across the runway. Firefighters battled the blaze with foam and water, while ground personnel scrambled to secure the area. The pilot managed to evacuate safely, but the damage to the aircraft was catastrophic. The once cutting-edge stealth fighter was scorched beyond repair. Investigators later confirmed that the F-35A was too heavily damaged to ever fly again. Its fate was sealed. The jet would never return to the skies. Instead, the aircraft was repurposed as a ground instructional airframe, used only for training mechanics and engineers. For many, this incident was a sobering reminder. Even the most advanced fighter jets are not immune to sudden, devastating failures. What should have been a normal day at Mountain Home ended with the loss of a $100 million warplane. 3. MCAS Beaufort, South Carolina, USA. Aircraft type F-35. On October 27, 2016, at Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort in South Carolina, an F-35B Lightning II suffered a serious in-flight emergency. During a training mission, a faulty bracket inside the jet rubbed against electrical wiring located dangerously close to hydraulic lines. The friction caused sparks and ignited a fire while the aircraft was still in the air. The pilot quickly declared an emergency and managed to bring the fighter back for a tense landing. Emergency crews rushed to meet the jet as smoke poured from its fuselage. Although the pilot escaped unharmed, the aircraft had sustained severe internal damage. Investigators later confirmed it was beyond repair. The incident highlighted once again how even a small mechanical flaw could nearly cost the loss of both pilot and aircraft. 4. Near MCAS Beaufort, South Carolina, USA. Aircraft type F-35B. On September 28, 2018, the F-35 program faced one of its darkest moments. An F-35B Lightning II from MCAS Beaufort, South Carolina, took off on what seemed like a routine flight. But hidden inside the jet was a critical flaw, a faulty fuel tube. Mid-flight, the defect triggered a catastrophic failure. The pilot, realizing the aircraft could not be saved, was forced to eject. Within moments, the cutting-edge stealth fighter spiraled out of control and crashed in a fiery explosion near Beaufort. The pilot survived without injury, but the jet was completely destroyed, marking the first ever crash of an F-35 in history. The incident sent shockwaves across the U.S. military and its allies. Investigators quickly identified the faulty fuel tube as the cause. In response, the entire global F-35 fleet was grounded for urgent inspections, raising serious questions about the reliability of the trillion-dollar fighter program. 5. Location: Pacific Ocean, east of Aomori Prefecture, Japan. Aircraft type JASDF F-35A. On April 9, 2019, a Japan Air Self-Defense Force F-35A disappeared over the Pacific Ocean, east of Aomori, during a night training mission. Investigators concluded the pilot suffered from spatial disorientation, unable to judge altitude and position in the darkness. The jet plunged into the sea at tremendous speed, destroying the $100 million fighter and taking the pilot's life. It was the first fatal crash of the F-35 program, a tragedy that shook Japan and its allies and raised urgent concerns about night flying and pilot safety in even the most advanced stealth jet. 6. Location: Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. Aircraft type: F-35A. On May 19, 2020, at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, an F-35A Lightning II faced disaster during a night training landing. The pilot, fatigued, struggled with a faulty oxygen system and a malfunctioning head-mounted display. At the same time, the flight control system failed to respond. Losing control, the pilot ejected just moments before the jet slammed into the ground in a fiery explosion. He survived with only minor injuries, but the $90 million fighter was completely destroyed. Investigators later found the crash was caused not by one mistake, but by a chain of technical flaws combined with human fatigue. 7. Location: Imperial County, California, USA. Aircraft type: F-35B. On September 29, 2020, over Imperial County, California, an F-35B was conducting air-to-air refueling with a Marine Corps KC-130. Suddenly, something went terribly wrong. The stealth jet collided with the tanker in midair. The F-35B was critically damaged, forcing the pilot to eject as the jet spiraled toward the ground in flames. He survived, but was injured in the process. Meanwhile, the KC-130, despite suffering massive damage, managed a daring emergency crash landing in a nearby field. Remarkably, all crew members on board survived. The incident highlighted the extreme risks of mid-air refueling operations, even for the most advanced aircraft. 8. Location: Mediterranean Sea. Aircraft type: Royal Air Force F-35B. On November 17, 2021, a British F-35B launched from HMS Queen Elizabeth in the Mediterranean. But during takeoff, a critical mistake occurred. An engine blanking plug had been left in the intake. The jet failed to gain power and slid off the carrier's deck. The pilot ejected safely, moments before the $100 million fighter plunged into the sea. Weeks later, the wreckage was recovered to prevent it from falling into foreign hands. The incident showed how even the smallest oversight can bring down the world's most advanced aircraft. 9. Location: South Korea. Aircraft type: South Korean Air Force F-35A. On January 4, 2022, a South Korean Air Force F-35A faced a terrifying emergency. During a routine training flight, the jet suddenly suffered a major systems failure. Every onboard system shut down except for the engine and basic flight controls. Investigators later suspected a bird strike as the cause of this near-catastrophic breakdown. With no radar, sensors, or landing gear available, the pilot was forced to attempt one of the riskiest maneuvers, a belly landing. Against all odds, he brought the $100 million fighter down safely on its fuselage. The pilot emerged uninjured, and the incident was hailed as a testament to skill and composure under extreme pressure. 10. Location: South China Sea. Aircraft type: U.S. Navy F-35C. On January 24, 2022, a U.S. Navy F-35C attempted to land on the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson in the South China Sea. But as the jet approached the deck, it struck the ramp in a violent impact. The fighter skidded across the flight deck before tumbling into the sea. The pilot ejected and survived, but 7 sailors on the carrier were injured in the chaos. The $100 million jet sank to the ocean floor and was later recovered in a complex salvage mission. The incident underscored the extreme risks of carrier operations, even with the Navy's most advanced aircraft. 11. Location: Hill Air Force Base, Utah, USA. Aircraft type: F-35A. On October 19, 2022, at Hill Air Force Base in Utah, an F-35A encountered serious trouble during a training mission. As it approached the runway, the jet was caught in wake turbulence left behind by another aircraft. Errors in the air data system caused the F-35A to lose stability and depart from controlled flight. Within moments, the advanced fighter crashed near the end of the runway. The pilot managed to eject safely, avoiding serious injury. But the accident raised new concerns about how even minor turbulence can overwhelm one of the world's most advanced jets. 12. Location: Naval Air Station, Joint Reserve Base, Fort Worth, Texas, USA. Aircraft type: F-35B. On December 15, 2022, at Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base Fort Worth in Texas, an F-35B was undergoing a production test flight. As the jet attempted a vertical landing, the advanced fighter suddenly malfunctioned. The aircraft pitched forward violently, slamming onto the runway.
Within seconds, the stealth jet was destroyed. Fortunately, the test pilot ejected while still on the ground and escaped with only minor injuries. The dramatic crash was captured on video and widely shared, highlighting once again the risks and challenges of operating the world's most advanced fighter aircraft.
13. Location: North Charleston, South Carolina, USA. Aircraft type: F-35B. On September 17, 2023, an F-35B from Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort was on a routine training flight near North Charleston, South Carolina, when disaster struck. A mishap forced the pilot to eject, landing safely with no injuries. But in a bizarre twist, the advanced stealth fighter kept flying on autopilot for some time before finally crashing in a remote area. It took search teams nearly 30 hours to locate the wreckage, sparking headlines worldwide and raising serious questions about safety and tracking in one of the world's most advanced aircraft. Location: Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico. Aircraft type: F-35B. On May 28, 2024, an F-35B was conducting a developmental test flight from Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico. Only moments after takeoff, something went terribly wrong. The jet lost control and went down, forcing the pilot to eject. Though the pilot survived, reports confirmed he suffered injuries in the incident. The crash drew immediate attention as the exact cause remained unclear, raising fresh concerns about the risks and reliability of the world's most advanced fighter aircraft during testing. 15. Location: Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska, USA. Aircraft type: F-35A.
On January 28, 2025, an F-35A crashed at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska. The accident was triggered by extreme freezing temperatures, which caused water-contaminated hydraulic fluid to solidify and rupture hydraulic lines. Investigators also pointed to inadequate oversight and crew decision-making as contributing factors. Fortunately, the pilot ejected safely and was uninjured. However, the crash highlighted the serious challenges of operating advanced fighter aircraft in harsh Arctic conditions.
16. Location: Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska, USA. Aircraft type: F-35A. On February 6, 2025, at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska, a U.S. Air Force F-35A experienced hydraulic freezing during flight. This issue had been linked to extreme winter conditions in the region. Unlike a previous January crash at the same base, the pilot was able to maintain control of the aircraft. Despite the serious malfunction, the F-35A landed safely without injury or loss of the jet, marking a rare instance where the hydraulic freezing problem did not result in a crash. 17. Location: near Naval Air Station Lemoore, California, USA. Aircraft type: U.S. Navy F-35C. On July 30, 2025, a U.S. Navy F-35C crashed near Naval Air Station Lemoore, California. The stealth fighter was on a routine mission when something went wrong. The exact cause remains under investigation, but reports confirmed the pilot successfully ejected and survived. Emergency crews quickly responded to the crash site. The loss of another advanced jet, worth tens of millions of dollars, once again raised concerns about the reliability of the F-35 program. 17 incidents in less than 2 decades, each reminding us that even the most advanced fighter jet in history is not invincible. The F-35 remains a marvel of modern engineering, but its crashes and failures have cost lives, billions of dollars, and raised serious questions about its reliability. As the program continues, the world watches closely. Will the F-35 truly prove its worth, or remain a symbol of costly ambition?